I made a beat yesterday, I really feel it, but it's a complete mess. So in this video, I'm going to take it from a complete mess to release ready. This will be sort of like a reality show where I do my thing. You can follow along and you can just skip through the chapters if you want to dive into some sections that you think is more interesting than others. Let's go. Now the plugins that I'm using in this video is mainly iZotope Ozone 11 plugins. This makes it a lot easier if you have this bundle. You don't have to be all over the place with the plugins. And if you want me to make other videos such as this but using other plugin bundles, please let me know. So this beat is made by me and it's made using the Landr sampler mainly, and I've made another video about that. You can check out right there. And if this is something that you would like to try out, there's a link below where you also support the channel if you use my link. All right, so here's the beat in all its messy glory. Check it out. Gonna have to use my headphone for this. Here comes the bass. So there's a lot of problems with this beat, and one of them is the tonality. It's like somewhere there's some janky harmonics, and you know, it is what it is. The intentional part is the beat with the swing of the beat is manually. There's no machine swing going on here. It's just me recording live and then just nudging the notes, you know, the kick. This is just a duplicate of the kicks, and the snare is not falling on the... Okay, so it's not quantized that much, you see? So it's a bit late, I think. Or is it a bit early? Yeah, it comes a bit late. And the same goes for the hi-hats. Those are also just manually punched in. Me using my computer keyboard. And the hi-hats are actually from a hi-hat loop that I just found because I was too lazy to lay down the fast going hi-hats. And then we have a sample, which is called the main sample, which is chopped up. It's a chopped up loop, like so. And there's an alternative loop, which is also really lazy. It's just a loop that I haven't done anything with. I just put it on there. But you know, it's a simple arpeggiator. I could easily have done that myself, but it was there, so I just used it. Lazy me. And then there's an acoustic bass that I've chopped up a bit, like that. And I really like the sound of that. And then we have two bells, which are one shots, and I've just played them with my keyboard, like that. And another one, bell, like this. I'm a bit unsure if I'm going to keep it, but we'll see. And then we have some synth. We have a synth bass, which is like a bit more powerful sounding. It's like this. And the same is for this one. This is the same instrument. It's just a different pattern. And then we have a bass synth and yet another bass synth, and it was because I wanted something cleaner, and I didn't find that using the Landr sampler, so I just used the Serum, and I just tweaked something like that, like made my own little tweak, like that. Nothing fancy, just to fill out the bass the bass frequencies a bit in one certain particular part of the song, like that. And then we have sound effects, which I also made in Serum. This is a preset in Serum. Yeah, nothing fancy. But all in all, here's the beat. So this isn't structured in any particular way. I want to make an intro, a verse part, and a chorus part, and an outro. But I haven't come that far yet, but I want to do that together with you. Okay, so let's just See? Now, I have one plugin on here. As you can see, there's no plugins going on here except for the instruments, and I have one plugin going on here which is called the Tonal Balance Control, which is just to give me some visual feedbacks on the tonal balance of the beat. And you can check it out. So you see there's a real smiley curve here on the beat. There's not much going on in the vocal area of the beat. So what I like to do especially when making bass heavy beats like this, is to just add an acapella. And I'm going to do that just now by inserting an acapella from a song that I've previously mixed. This is only for mixing, so I'm not going to make a remix now, but I want to have this acapella so I can mix the beat around acapella, a type of acapella that I am thinking maybe will fit the beat nicely. So I'll just do it with this one, for example. Okay, I'll go with that. This can be any song because it's not going to be released by any means. Now, I've just dragged it in, and I guess it's another tempo on this one, so I'll just right click and I'll do the tempo stuff with it. So I'll just hit apply project tempo to region and downbeat. Now that we're here, what I want to do is bounce this in place just to make sure that we have a clean audio file without anything going on. All right, now what I want to do is I will stem split it. So I'll right click, processing, stem splitter. And what's neat about the new stem splitter is that it sorts into categories, because there are some categories now, 2 more than it used to be. We have, I guess, piano and guitar is the new ones. But we only need acapella for now. So I'll hit apply, and then it takes roughly a minute. You see, I'm not checking my phone. Just to say that I'm waiting, but I'm not checking my phone. I'm working on it. Okay. Now, when we have these, we can just delete the others. Now I have an acapella that fits the beats. It should, at least. So I'll hit on snap bar, and I want it to come in, let's see, after 8 bars. Isn't that what they do, the professionals?
Yeah. Slennelle kärkän, lämmä ei halua taivas. Hiilistä alu sillä hallu vahte muuttin kalka oino jammas lennä palli valte sellu maimun nattan toji helloi tallu telle pallu saatu saate pellistä ammut on niin no jallu vandi jelle solja tefte mästide kohki ja ellu falko. Päästä maiste mieles lennä pannus lahte teko mik.
And I'm using this acapella specifically because I have the permission to do so. It's by Slink Race. I've linked this Spotify in the link below, and you should really check him out. He's one of Norway's best Sami rappers. Let's go. Best rappers in any language in Norway, I think. And of course, this is stem splitted, the acapella. So don't mind the quality of the vocals right now. Just focus on the beat. And I don't want that long of a session, so I can just do this. Because the point is not to make a remix, as I said. It's just to, yeah, you know. All right, so what I do now, I have all these instruments. Everything is like samplers all over the place, and there's synths, and I don't want that in the mixing session. I want to start fresh. So what I'll do, I'll export everything, export all tracks as audio files. And another reason is that I have no buses or synths or anything. I have, and you can see here that the whole complete of everything, it's just a mess. You see all the faders is all over the place, and I can't start a mix like that. So I'll export it. Let's see, like that. Create a new folder, beat. All right, let's see here. No phone, no checking for messages or anything. Just, okay, cool. No social media. Now I have a folder with everything in it, even the acapella, like here. And I'll open the template, and this template you can download for free. The link is in the description down below. You should really use it. It's really neat and clean. You have everything in place that you need. There are other videos that where I discuss these more in depth, but here you can see it in real use. So this is again absolutely free. Go download it, subphotic.com/logic. Did I say clearly? Subphotic.com/logic. That's the address. Right, here we go. Here we have it. This is just a drag drop template. We can start with the drums. You see I have tracks laid out for drums here from the get-go. So I'll drag up my snare. I'll drag up the kicks, the hi-hats. We even have a hi-hat fast and a hi-hat slow, and that's correct. You see here? Fast and slow. Close the drum folder for now. Bass folder, let's see. We have quite a few basses. So for the bass folders, I often have a bass tone and a bass sub because I like to divide the basses into two sections sort of. But in this particular case, I just duplicate the tracks, hit Command D and duplicate. And let's see, bass, 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 bass. We have 4 of them. And I'll just put them right there, and I don't mind the sub for now. And then we have the instrument folder where we have the main loop. Let's see, the main sample. That's the main loop, isn't it? Yep. And then we have, we'll just zoom out a bit. Then we have the sound effects right here. And then we have the old samples right here. 1, 2, and 3. Wow, great. It's not that often it's that suitable and it's that great of a fit. Okay, and then we have the acapella, which I will place inside the Vox folder on the verse right there. And you can see also there's processing going on in this template, but everything is bypassed, so you don't have to worry about it. And I'm only going to use isotope plugins for this, so I'm going to completely disregard all the stock plugins for now. Now, the tempo is set to 92, and that's wrong. It was 140 as I can recall. Now let's check it out. Okay, we can start by just deleting everything that we don't need. Let's just take that away. Take it away. All this. We don't want any distractions. Here we have the effects folder. We'll just keep them for now. And yeah, cool. And what we do now, Command A, select all, right click, and color regions by track. Now I will start mixing. And these will be processed more later on. Let's just... Okay, that's good for now. Okay, and let's introduce the instruments again. Let's just look at them in solo. All right. Okay, let's together.
Gedaan voi sahtetaan se tango, jos tuoti meinen muutti jahkatus, jolkan ommin astekalloi. Uussa partners, tonille viekka mihke, jos toinna kalkan kelle maite tolle vedde, halko sieltä vihke. Holder pääsä stohka suora lunta idekkaisisse, jalla jo kalle kun lechen ketska miske. Vedde toukka liekka sisti, kolva viekka pouti viekka pisti. Slinille vuoremus samme geldäppar, Olantu parko me tekolle häppar. Firu mun kalle no jalluin sähkan, Antelo ja kivelotellen kärkan, kollillen.
I can see that this instrument right here, the main loop, is sort of like a piano loop. It really interferes with the vocals and make it unintelligible, so I'll have to deal with that soon. And other than that, I feel that the tonal balance is starting to take shape. Let's pull up metering tool. I like to use the tonal balance control from Isotope.
Motherfucking crazy. Motherfucking crazy.
So what this says is that the high end is a bit exaggerated. Maybe it's the hi-hats. Let's take a second look at that. I really like that this kick and the snare is like really present and they're just punching through the mix. Of course, I will have to treat them a bit afterwards, but in the grand scheme of things, I think we are pretty much there right now without using any plugins at all, just using the faders. Maybe we should use some panning. Let's see. And I'm just going to visualize the waveforms a bit more so I can see where I have everything, because some of them are really low in volume. And before I go any further, let's just check out the stereo out. Let's see. It's running a bit hot, so we will just have to keep that in the back of our minds. But -2 is good, -1 is good, as long as you don't exceed 0. Plus 0.1 you will cause some distortions that you don't want, so just keep that in mind. Let's see. problem now is that I've fallen in love with the setup. I've fallen in love with how it sounds and how it's arranged, and that's a bit stupid of me. I should have done less of the arrangement beforehand, and I should have left that for now, but done is done. What can I say? Oh yeah, let's go back to the kicks a bit. There's two kicks. One is sort of muffled, not that prominent, and the other one is more prominent. Let's listen to the two of them. What I would like to do actually is to kick number 2. I would like to be the main kick sort of, and then I would like the more muffled kick to be the swing type of kick. So if you know what I mean, just solo the drum like that instead of layering them. I think I can get more of a cool impact that way. So I'll just do that here as well. Just remove that. Oops. Here's my idea. I will now do the arrangement properly. So I will start off really, really soft, and then bam, it will hit. The beat will drop really early in the song so that nobody skips on Spotify or SoundCloud or wherever. And then I will sort of strip down the beat when the rapper comes in, and I will increase a bit of what is in the beat when it's time for the chorus. And then I will strip it down again for the second verse, chorus, and then the outro. Sounds good? Okay, let's execute. Let's do that. Okay. Now I'll just move everything like here, and I think that 4 bars is like a sweet deal for an intro. Maybe even 2 bars. Let's go crazy. Yeah, so 2 bars. Now let's just build up something. Let's use the sound effects right here. I'll just cut that out here and here. Where is it? Right here. Okay. Is that 4 bars or is it 2? I can see it from afar. Oh yeah, that's 2 bars. Cool. Oh, I have an idea. I don't like the deviation here. Let's turn that to 1. Let's see. Cool. Now you see what I mean, and let's automate this because I don't want it to be present. I hit A and then I hit touch, and then and I'll delete that one. Now I'll go here and turn on the automation right here. For this one, I want to automate something else, and that's an EQ. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to isotope equalizer like that. Let's just automate a low pass filter. Low pass. I don't want a 48 slope. Come on. Give me a break. 12 is great. 12 is nice. Okay, cool. And I'll just let it reside right up there at 20K. And again, I will and go here, because on the final stage here, where you get this sort of like a bridge. Now, what I want to do is I want to remove this part, right? Okay, so I've just discovered something new, and I didn't know this, but for example, when I use the stock EQ, the linear phase EQ, or when I use the Pro Q3, look at the frequency here. Pro Q3 starts at 30,000 hertz, and if you turn it down, it goes down to, here's 10. Now here's 2, or yeah, here's 2,000 hertz, and it's like, look at this. I'll just bypass the Ozone now, and let's see here, like that, and 200, and here we have like 20, 30. This is the sub frequencies. But if you take a look at the Ozone frequency, let's see here, it starts on 20, 18, 17, and down here we have 10,000. So it goes linear, not exponential. Like here's 4,000, and here's 1,700, and you know here. So yeah, probably because it's a mastering equalizer and not a mixing equalizer, but I digress. Let's make this transition happen. I'll just do this then. Okay. Is it okay? Can I do that? Thanks. It's really hopeless in doing this in that way. But I'm stubborn. I'll just keep going. Let's see. Up. Let's just make some movement out of this. I'll have a node here and a node here, and then I'll just raise it a bit up until like this. So only subtle movements to create some sense of movement.
Muuttin kalka oino jammas lennä palli valte sellu maihun nattan toje helloi tallo tenne pallo saatu saatne pellistä mulla on niin jallo pandi jelle solja tette mästede kohki ja ellu palko päässä maiste mieles lennä pannos lahte tek. So you sort of, you hear it and you sort of, you feel it. You feel it more than you hear it, maybe. Yeah. Slennelle kärkan lämmä jolla mä toivo kiilistä allu sillä hallu vahte muuttin kalka oino. Now I want this to be more here, like there, and I want it to go faster down to like this. Yeah. 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 Slennelle kärkan lämmä jolla mä toivo kiilistä allu sillä hallu vahte muuttin kalka oino jammas le mikedaan voi sahdetaan se tangu. And I want to do something in the same streets. Can you say streets? In the same gata på norsk. Okay. So what I think here, I want to simplify this bell right here, and I'll do it like this. Okay, I've cleaned up the pitch of things because I don't want those harmonic clashes. They are really unsuitable, and I don't want people to think that I don't know any music theory. I don't, but don't tell anyone. I only use my ears. I only use my intuition. That's it. That's about it. And I think that when AI now is coming and more AI music is being made, like no human touch at all, I think using your intuition is a lot more worth than knowing all the music theory in the world. Not that knowing music theory is a bad thing, because you can experiment more and better with the music theory. Obviously, I know
quite a bit of music theory, but I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert in anything, in fact. I'm not an expert in mixing, mastering, logic. I'm not an expert, but I love it, and I have done it a lot, and I think I'm way ahead of a lot of people. So that's the reason of this channel. Not to show off my incredible skills, because, you know, my skills are my skills, and I'm a teacher. So that's who I am. Here is where the chorus starts. So here we have a build up to the chorus, and I'll try this. So in the main loop is like a piano as well, so I can just call it the piano, call it for what it is, and I'll actually drag up this one because these are the two competing elements, and I think that they can't run fully at the same time without being at least panned or EQ'd heavily. So let's go opt in for an EQ right here as well. Let's see. So what I've learned now is that when it comes to, because I've always used this EQ for mastering but never for mixing, but what I've learned is that it's a horrible EQ for mixing, because of the automation. But when it comes to everything else, it's quite nice. I like Pro Q better, but here we go, as an EQ at least. So but we'll use it as, we will use the filters. So I will. Okay, now we have it. Okay, this is ridiculous, but it is the way it is. Okay, 200. Let's see. Put down the 200 right here. Let's see how. Can have it a bit more audible. 700. Let's just jump up to 700, like 2 millimeters. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Yeah, so this is like the chorus, and this is the second part of the chorus where there's more chanting. The first part is more softly singing maybe, and then we have some chanting going on here, and then comes the next verse, and it starts right here, which is different, like pattern wise from the first verse, and I like that you have something different happening on the second verse. So we start here, and what we'll do now, because this piano has been running all along, now we will just mute that piano. Let's see. Let's see. And here we can also do the EQ thing, cut it down to here at least, so we'll really have focus on the vocals, and then we can turn it up a bit before the verse stops. And I have an idea here, just to end off the bar, the 4-bar, the first 4-bar section. I'll just take it up until 4. And I'll do that for the next 4-bar section as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here. I'll do the same thing. And here comes the last chorus. Should come here. And what I'll do now, I'll just cheat a bit. I'll just copy what I had from before. So we have the verse that is like 1, 2, 3, 4 sections right here. And then the chorus is right here from 41 to 57. So we'll just take everything like here, and not the vocals though. The vocals can be okay. And here we will have a tail, and I think that's it for the outro. Dun, 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 dun. We will fade that out, sort of, using the EQ, like that, and adjusting the curve like this. Take away this. Okay. Okay, I like that way of ending it a bit abruptly. For the sake of the video, and since I have had people comment that why don't I use the built-in AI assistant in Ozone, I've tried it before. I don't like it that much, and I don't like using it. I don't think it's fun to use it. I think mixing and mastering should be fun, so that's me. But I'll do it now for just for the sake of the video. So it understood that it was hip-hop rap, at least. And let's go to the details. Is that detail view? So it cut down a bit on the bass, and it improved the mids a bit. And I think that's a good choice. Some transit shaping going on. Increasing the transits in the bass area below 120 and reducing in the mids, and that, I guess that's the kick and the snare that's quite prominent. It used some imaging because it felt that the mix was a bit narrow. I was about to address that in the mixing stage. Now let's see here what it says. Well, it has some clarity issues. Let's see. And some stabilizer. Motherfucking's crazy. So here it's adding back some low end that it took away in this one, in this section. Now some dynamic EQs because there was some maybe some nasty frequency buildups right here, here, and here. Motherfucking's crazy. Yeah, the usual suspects, the 200, 500, and a 5K, and then a maximizer with the IRC2. That's not usually my go-to setting. 0.10 of output level. I think that's a lot, and you see here it's peaking as well. It goes quite heavy on the limiting, I think, and it uses upward compression and soft clipping. That's okay, cool. But I really, and it's no true peak limiting, and therefore it's clipping. And if I use true peak, it won't clip. It's sort of forced the transients to be under control, but I agree with the AI. No true peak is needed. -1. Let's see how it goes. Then we stay safe under -0.3, and that's a safe place to be, more or less. But when we take away the vocals, the rules will change. But let's just check out the tonal balance control for now. So I definitely need to work on the low end. That's an issue that's here, and you know, an advantage of using this AI assistant right here is that you can get some hints and clues of what to do. And my suspicions were being confirmed that I need to work on the low end, I need to work on the mid-range, and the high end is a bit piercing. So, but you've probably already heard it yourself if you're listening to it with some good speakers or headphones. All right, now just gonna get some syltetøy out of the freezer, and I'll be right back. Okay. Right. So let's just fix the issues, put on some bus compression, and call it a day.
Slinille voremu sammegen rappar Volando bargo me tegole häpar Firo mun kallen no jalluin sähkan Adelo ja kiveloutellen kärkan Kollillen ja tiedon nahte mun shelkan Tuusille taika ja tunjelle sama Namuhan noktevel kivalle värstar Motherfucking.
So I'll just sidechaining the kick to the bass bus where everything bass goes, and we can listen to it. No more than 5 dB is needed right here. You don't want to hear it like really clearly. You just want to hear it. You just want to have get the bass out of the way for the kick. And then I also want on the instrument bus, the instruments out of the way of the bass. So I'll sidechain the bass here.
Lemai holla mä toivo Kiilistä allu sillä hallu vahti muuttin kalka oino Jammas lennä palli valte sellu maimun nattan toinje helloi tallu tenna.
And then I want some compression to happen on the instrument bus. I just want to compress it a bit using the isotope compressor. We can do broadband compression. Let's just.
Jalla jokalle kun legend ketkä miske Perret onka liekka sisti kova viekka pouti viekka visti Slinille voremu sammegen rappar Volando bargo me tegolle häpar Firo mun kallen no jalluin sähkan Adelo ja kiveloutellen kärkan Kollillen ja tiedon nahte mun shelkan Tuusille taika ja tunjelle sama Namuhan noktevel kivalle värstar Slim, motherfucking crazy Kollille Slim, motherfucking crazy Kalkalga, tolla kalga galaga. Fuck me galaga. Piso galaga. Tal galaga. Dolla galaga. Fuck me galaga. Piso galaga. Landr on jaska. Den båten gås ihop med. Ta löten jalga tot.
And there's no instruments, it's at least in the verse section, there's no instruments that really live in the 1 to 2K area, and that's like really prominent there. So I think, well, I'll just bypass this one, and just was just a test. Now I'll open the Ozone 11 again, and I'll insert an EQ, and I'll boost it a bit in this area right here. Now listen with and without. So we have a bit more presence now.
Motherfucking's crazy. Motherfucking's crazy.
Bit better balance, and let's work with the drums a bit, because they can, when they're too hard hitting, sort of like you got too much of a transience going on, it might sound a bit thin. So so I have the perfect solution for this, and that's some tape. So let's do it with some vintage tape. Let's see, Ozone vintage tape. Now let's just go with the drum. I like that. It crunches the drums a bit, but I think it's too much. So I'll back off on the input drive, and let's see. Well, let's see in the context of this song.
Motherfucking's crazy.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't want to overcomplicate anything, so I'll just go over to the next processor, and that's the limiter or the maximizer. And I'll like using the classic or the modern. It's my go-to. Okay, you see the hi-hats are going nuts all over the place, and we don't need both these hi-hats here to go run at the same time. I like the switch of energy between the slow and the fast, so I will start off with the fast ones. Let's see, like. I'm just relaxing and having a cup of sub. I'm quite happy, but this is a new studio setup for me, so I don't trust these speakers in this room quite yet. So I'm going to have a couple of hours, just reset my ears and listening to it in my on my AirPods and in my car, and yeah, that's just for calibrating, and then I'll come back and do the rest. Now I'm back from my car. I've listened to it in my AirPods, in my car, and just figured out something that wasn't quite there, and I'm gonna fix that right now.
Galaga, fuck me Galaga, piece of Galaga, Al Galaga, Dollar Galaga, fuck me Galaga, piece of Galaga.
And finally, here it is. Listen to before and after. Now, if you like videos like these where I just relax, chill, just mix and master a beat like this, and you want to watch over my shoulders, check out one of these videos. I hope I see you there. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.